4 Armenian soldiers were killed and another was wounded by Azerbaijani fire along the two countries' heavily militarized border on the 13th of February. Baku claimed that the attack on the Armenian position was in retaliation to an Armenian provocation just a day earlier, in which one Azerbaijani soldier had been wounded. Now, Tuesday's flare-up in violence was the first one since the Caucasus Arch Force began negotiating a deal last year to end more than 3 decades of intermittent warfare. A couple of days after the border skirmish, the Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan warned that Azerbaijan is planning another full-scale war on Armenia. Both the nations have professed an interest in signing a peace treaty, but they continue to disagree over many issues, including the precise demarcation of their borders and also the control over several smaller territorial enclaves. Our next report explores.
Nagorno-Karabakh has been at the center of a decades-long territorial dispute between the Caucasus arch foes Armenia and Azerbaijan. 2 wars have been fought over the mountainous territory in the past 3 decades. Home to about 120,000 ethnic Armenians, the disputed region came under the control of ethnic Armenian forces in separatist fighting that ended in 1994. Substantial territory around the Azerbaijani region was also taken under control by the Armenian forces. But Azerbaijan wrested control of the surrounding territory in a 6-week war with Armenia in 2020. And in September last year, Azerbaijan, in a lightning offensive, recaptured Nagorno-Karabakh, prompting a rapid exodus of the region's ethnic Armenian population. What followed was a renowned push from both sides for a peace deal to end the conflict. Recent months were a period of relative calm, with rekindled hopes of a long-lasting resolution to this more than 30-year conflict. But on Tuesday, the first fatal incident since the negotiations began, Yerevan accused its neighbor of trying to escalate tensions.
Again, Azerbaijan, in unprovoked way, killed 4 soldiers from Armenian side and wounded 1 soldier. This is information right now that we have. And I can tell you that this is another threat to the peace process, because when we are talking about peace, when we are talking about peace process and negotiations, and Azerbaijan is attacking sovereign Armenian territories, and by the way, these attacks were carried out, according to my information, from the sovereign Armenian territory, which was occupied by the Azerbaijani forces. So just being there is provocation.
The 4 Armenian soldiers were killed and wounded at a combat post near the southern Armenian village of Nerkinhand in the Syunik province. In response, Baku reiterated its commitment to the peace process and said it had no intention of escalating tensions further.
Today, Armenian Foreign Ministry has claimed that the measures undertaken by Azerbaijan as a retaliatory measure against the armed forces of Armenia as a result of yesterday's attacks is an escalation, an intended escalation by Azerbaijan, which is not true. Azerbaijan took these measures as a result of the provocations by the Armenian side. Azerbaijan is committed to the peace process.
The timing of the attack is interesting, as it comes on the heels of Azerbaijan's president Ilham Aliyev winning a 5th term in office. Local commentators are of the opinion that an emboldened Aliyev might consider further military action to seize Armenian territory. Moscow, formally allied to Armenia, but which also has close ties with Azerbaijan, has urged both parties to exercise restraint. Russian peacekeepers are stationed in Karabakh and are due to leave the region next year. Though Moscow would like to maintain presence in the area, Armenia has, of late, distanced itself from Russia and deepened ties with the European Union, which has resulted in the souring of relations between Azerbaijan and EU. Will this recent conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan destabilize efforts to end a 30-year conflict? Only time will tell.